Ladies and gents, welcome back to Apex Investor. This is an emergency broadcast. You'll notice it is still Sunday. Technically, it is Monday. It's past midnight. But we've got a situation. The stock market, at least in Japan, is crashing, and it looks to be affecting the rest of the world. How much it will affect the rest of the world remains to be seen. But we have to expect the worst and hope for the best. So this situation is only a bad situation if you're holding the bag, if you are heavily invested in stocks right now. But this is a great opportunity if you have not invested and you have money in reserve. That's ideally what you should be doing, is keeping half of your assets in reserve and then half, whatever you're looking to invest in the stock market, you keep half ready to go and half in the market in case of situations like this. Let's look at this news. It says Apple investors urged to stay calm after Warren Buffett slashes his stake. How many shares did he sell? We're gonna find out. They're trying to prevent any panic from the masses. So Warren Buffett revealed Saturday that it sold half of its position. So their stake is 84 billion. It was 140 billion. That is something to take seriously. That is going to send a ripple effect for the stock, for Apple. It's going to drop significantly, at least 10%, maybe 20%. Beginning Monday morning. I believe the stock market is opening on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Look what happened when he first disclosed his stake in Apple. The shares went up 900%. Well, not immediately, but people were very bullish at the time. And now people are going to be bearish because the market is heading towards a downturn. Yes, towards a potential market crash, the likes that have not been seen since 2020 March, and before that 2008, and before that I would guess it would be the tech bubble boom in 2000. Before that, I guess 1980s. But I guess we've been due for a stock market crash. I've been predicting this for a long time. It never really came to fruition. I guess March 2020 was a preview of that. But you can expect Apple to drop at least 10, maybe 20, maybe even 30%. We're going to see in the morning. I'd like to look at this chart first before going to the next tabs. And then I'm going to outline what are the best steps moving ahead. I think it's just a wait and see situation. But just to make sure, it's probably better that we analyze some charts here. So let's look at ExxonMobil. First of all, I wanted to look at Apple first, but ExxonMobil. I was saying this should be actually Chevron, not Exxon. There was an overreaction to the negative quarterly report. So what I'm expecting tomorrow in terms of the oil companies, I'm not sure how much of an effect the stock market dip or crash will affect these stocks. But if we look at March 2020, this is when everything went down, $32. Will oil go down to $32? I think it's not very likely. I think it probably goes down to probably 100, less than 100. Chevron anyway, or Exxon specifically, probably goes to probably 100 or below. I think below 100 you can expect that, just because it's going to react to the market. Not that or any negative news about oil, there wasn't. Let me know what you think of the ambience behind me. It makes it seem like I'm in a cyberpunk city. That's the point. Hope it's not too distracting, that you can still hear me loud and clear. So Chevron, I was saying this is an immediate buy as soon as you can, but I'm going to have to take that back because the market is going to react to the stock market crash news that took place with the Nikkei, the Tokyo Japanese stock market. I think it's headed for lower lows. I really do. I don't think this is a good buy anymore because everything's going to react. I think you're looking at it dropping further. How far is the question? Could it go down to $59? No, I don't think so. Probably 100 and you know what? Maybe 130, maybe below. I don't see this going higher just because I said in my last video to buy it, because the market is trending downwards. So it's not a good time to buy any stock until the dust settles. So let the dust settle, let the selling frenzy take place. Maybe it would be a good time to sell off some stocks that you have profited in, because I don't see it. I don't see anything going up tomorrow except maybe if you're shorting the market, that might go up. If you're a short seller, yeah, that would be a great time for you, because everything's going to go down pretty much. It's going to be a lot of fear and doom and gloom. Going to be sure of that. So I won't even buy Chevron, to be honest. So what is the answer? What should you buy? Is this the right stock to buy? Co-Diagnostics. This is one of the stocks that brought me from 10,000 to 77,000 overnight. But I think this is a boat that has already sailed. This is not a good stock to invest in. We're just going to take a look, just out of curiosity, if this will ever load. I'm going to pause the video recording. Okay, so here's the chart for Co-Diagnostics. I want to look at the 5-year chart and see, will this drop? Well, if you remember March 2020, everything was down except this. It can't really go lower. I think it can go lower, but how much lower? This might be a good buy, honestly. If everything goes down and this goes below $1, this might be a good pickup at below $1. And you're probably looking at, below $1. This is probably a good buy. If you buy this at under $1 and then the market returns again, this goes up to, let's say, $1.50. Maybe you pick it up for 50 cents tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. This might be a really good play. This is one of the few penny stocks that I can recommend, Co-Diagnostics, just because I wouldn't put too much money into it, but play around, see what you can do with that. I think the name of the game is to pick the most stable stocks, the most trustworthy stocks with a reputation, that have had experience, that are not going to go out of business in the next 10 to 20 to 100 years. Bitcoin is probably the most obvious play at this point, and specifically when we're looking at stocks, it's MicroStrategy without a doubt. Those are the top 2 plays. Whether you're going to invest in Bitcoin after the dust settles from this market crash, potential market crash, alleged market crash, and then MicroStrategy would that's the best thing you can invest in all the stock market. I'll probably sell off my Serve Robotics tomorrow. First thing in the morning, I'm going to sell off everything I'm profitable in, because the market will crash. I don't know how far it'll go, but I'm not going to just wait and watch everything burn around me. Everything else that I kind of have a loss in, maybe I could just count my losses at this point. And then buy everything when it goes up again, or buy everything when they're low, I should say. I'm going to hold on to Grocery Outlet. I think everything where I'm in the red, I'll just hold on to. That's probably my plan. This is an interesting play, DJT. Beyond Meat, that's a good buy. I think it's going to go down even lower, so pick that one up. I think that's a really good investment. Inovio, that's another good buy. Not at this price, but I would watch all these stocks that I'm scrolling through in my list. We've identified the top money makers in terms of profit percentage in the stock market, and I think I've ranked them according to that order. So let's look at these. Tupperware could be a really good play. Nvidia, I think I'm going to sell that even though I'm losing. AVGO I can't sell that because that's too much of a loss. I am not sure right now. I think all the red stocks I will keep. Sad as it sounds, I just can't not keep them, because I'd be losing. But then I might lose even more, right? So you have to kind of balance things out. How is this going to work? everything's going to go down tomorrow, without a doubt. So maybe it's the time to sell everything, then buy it again when it's lower, and then you make it back. Perhaps that's what I'll have to do, and what a lot of people will have to do. In terms of other plays, I like the cheaper stocks. So everything I'm opening in these tabs are probably the good plays. Meta is going to be interesting. That's a really good stock. Especially if it drops, you're going to make a lot of money. I would steer clear of the meme stocks. GameStop, AMC, get away from those. I don't know how they're going to react. They might go higher, they might go low. They're very unpredictable. They're the most unpredictable stocks in the stock market because they're so volatile. 1 minute they explode, 1 minute they crash. So I would steer clear just because they are highly volatile. McDonald's is actually having a good rally as of the last week. Remember, it was at 250, now it's at 276. Will that go down to the market? Probably, it might. This might go down tomorrow. That might be a really good buy. SunPower. If that goes to 50 cents, I'd pick that up right away. I think it's going to go right back to $1, so you could double your money with that. It's a pretty safe play. Kodak might be a really good play if it drops to $3. I hope it does. We will see. We will see. So I think that's all in terms of the tabs I will open. So I'm going to analyze these tabs, these stocks, from a perspective of 2020, looking at, I think they will drop to the same level, if not lower. We'll see if just how much of a reaction the market will have as it relates to the Nikkei. Okay, I think I'm just scanning again, looking one more time through all these, through this list. Looking for the best plays. I do think that QuantumScape would be a good stock to look at. And obviously this one, I think this will drop too. So I would sell this right away. I made a little profit, so I'm going to sell this right away, pick it up when it drops to whatever, maybe $5. Who knows how much I'll get it for. And then you make even more money. So that's what you have to do. You got to play it smart, right? And wait for the recovery. Because the stock market inevitably crashes, but it inevitably goes up again. That's the way it works. It goes up, it goes down, goes up, it goes down. It doesn't always stay down. It doesn't always stay up, as we've seen through the decades. So one more stock I want to look at is, for some reason it just escapes me. Oh, here it is, Tesla. That's another one. So what I'm going to do after I record this video, I'm going to go to my trading platform. I'm going to cancel all my buy orders because I don't know how far things are going to crash. Just wait and see what happens. Is this only a one-day thing? Is it a week-long thing? Is it a month-long thing? Or is this going to carry on till the election is done, or even after the election? I'm going to have to wait and see. But this is a really bad indicator, just looking at the Nikkei. And if I look at the Nikkei right now, the Nikkei here, I think that's it, N225. I think that's what it is. Nikkei futures. 10% down. I don't know if that's the right one. Let's put in the Nikkei again. I think it's the Nikkei 225, but I am not sure right now. Maybe it's the Nikkei 225. Is that the top 225 companies on the Nikkei? I'm not even sure. Let's click there. So that's down about 10% to 31,000. This one's down 12%. So this looks like this might be the one. So Japan's Nikkei 225 stock index has sunk 12.4%. If we look at the rest of the world, Hang Seng is down only 2%. So maybe it's only contained to Japan. Maybe this is a Japan-only situation. It's isolated. They're having a financial Fukushima, you could say. Investors dump a wide range of shares. Okay, so I've heard a lot of things in terms of it being related to the banks, stronger yen, and other things. But I think we will see a ripple effect going throughout the stock markets, especially in the NASDAQ, TSX, and so on. How much of an impact we will see. It says here it dropped 5.8% Friday. At its lowest, the Nikkei plunged 13.4%. Its biggest single-day rout was a drop of that many points. It was dubbed Black Monday in October 1987. Notice that. That was also when the market crashed in the States. If I recall correctly, it suffered an 11.4% drop in 2008 during the global financial crisis. And then another event was related to the natural disasters in 2011. Didn't really affect anyone else except them, as far as I remember. Didn't mention anything about didn't mention the 2020 March 2020 dip or crash. I guess we call it a recession. Let's look at how far did it fall, the Nikkei 225 in March of 2020. That's the question I have, and then we'll go over these tabs and we'll see you tomorrow. I think we will probably we might do a live stream, or we might just do a video as we're looking at the market as it's active during the trading hours, or we might just do a video after the trading session has ended. So I'm going to look at that. Let me just pause for a moment. The chart finally loaded. If we look at the last 5 years, specifically again March 2020, March 16th, it was the lowest, 16,000. So is it going to go down to 16,000? Can you imagine if it goes down to 16,000 from 41 all the way to 16? That is really a black swan event. So, wow. Let's look at the maximum chart. Okay, so it did reach a really high point, and then 89 it crashed. Or was that 80? It said 87, didn't it? Okay. It was low as 7,000 in 2003. 2008 it dipped again. Yeah, that was quite a crash. 50%. Just looking at the chart here, I think we can expect it to go down to maybe even 20. Could go down to 20,000 or below the Nikkei. We will see. That's quite a correction, yeah. Let's analyze these dates here. October 1st and then July. So that is a period of, what's that, 9 months. And then further down the road, that's another 2 years, it kept going down. Yes, it recovered a little bit, but in 2000, it went down within 7 months. And then for the next year, it just kept going down for the next 3 years. But it's hard to really look at the Nikkei as a whole and just say, okay, that everything's bad, because you need to look at the individual stocks to really get a better sense of what's going on. Because that is somewhat misleading. I don't think that's the best indicator of, a healthy economy. So Bitcoin is the best play. And the good thing about Bitcoin, one of the best things, is that it never stops trading. We can see how it's reacting to the Nikkei crash. Just in the last 24 hours, we can see that it has dropped 17% as a consequence of the Nikkei dip, crash, correction, whatever you want to call it. And looking at the last week, yeah, it was up to, I think, 96,000, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 96. From 96 to 70,000. So that is the time to buy. Anything below 70,000, short to midterm. But again, if we're looking at big picture and we're taking into account these black swan events, just craziness that has been going on the last 4 years, where it's just apocalyptic level events, wait for the 22,000. Wait for the at least 40,000 and below. I wouldn't buy Bitcoin at this price. Wait for it to dip, because it always does. And then it always goes up again to 80 plus. Actually 90 plus, maybe 100,000 plus. So you're going to more than double your money, I think, with this Bitcoin play. But because Bitcoin is so expensive, and it's a little difficult for some people to access due to some of the barriers they put in terms of security, in terms of picture ID, and all these kinds of ways that they want to keep track of you and identify you and all that. And it's decentralized, but it's somewhat not as private as it used to be. It's still a good play, but if you find it difficult to actually buy Bitcoin and then store it in cold storage in an offline device like a Trezor, then your next best bet is not Bitcoin itself, but MicroStrategy, which is this stock here, and currently trading at 1400, was trading as high as, I believe, 17 to 1800. Yeah, 2000 says 52-week range of 2000. I don't remember it going that high, but maybe I wasn't paying attention. Just wait for this chart to load. So after this MicroStrategy, we'll look at Serve Robotics. And we have to expect the worst. We have to expect the apex investor prices. That's what this channel is about. This channel is really stock market crash ready. We're not looking at day trading. We're looking at long-term investing, stock market crashes. So this is taking a long time. I'm not sure what's going on with this chart. I will pause. Oh, never mind. I was going to pause the video. So 1400. I think you're looking at 1,000 tomorrow. I think we're looking at a dip to 1,200, even 1,000. But the best price you want to get this at is 500 and below for MicroStrategy. And you're going to make a killing if you get this anywhere near 200 or below. But again, in case of a black swan event, which I think is inevitable, pick this up at 500 below. I wouldn't even buy it at 1,000 until a stock market crash, which we might be in for starting tomorrow morning, or starting in a few hours, which is what, 6 hours from now, 7 hours. Market opens at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I would just sit and watch, folks. I would just sit and watch and let the dust settle. But if you have any holdings that are in the negative, you can sell them if you want, whatever you want to do. Personally, I will probably hold on to them. We will see. We'll see how the markets react. I just don't like selling at a loss. It's not something I like doing. So 160 for MicroStrategy. That's the apex investor price, 160 and below. Realistically, because Bitcoin is so strong and MicroStrategy doesn't seem to be looking, it's not looking back in terms of, I don't see it going down to this price unless something crazy happens tomorrow or in the next weeks/months. I think 500 is really the price, 500 and below. So I would wait for 500. Pick up MicroStrategy at 500. You're going to make 3 times your money, because I think it's only a matter of time. Bitcoin is the best investment, even better than gold. Yes, I said it. So MicroStrategy all the way. I'm going to keep that tab open just to prove a point. That's how good of a stock that is. Now Serve Robotics, I think is going to drop probably to $10 tomorrow below. So that's why I'm going to sell it and then wait for the drop, pick it up. Maybe it goes to $2. Who knows? I don't know how bad things will get. So yeah, that's definitely a sell because everything will react. I do have a feeling things are going to react to the Japanese market. But we'll see. We'll see. QuantumScape. I don't know if I'm going to sell this. I would be selling for a loss, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I would pick this up at $5 and below. We'll see if it can hit $4, maybe even. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to keep that open because it is a great buy, even at that price. DJT, we're going to see how this goes. I would pick this up at $20 or $23 at the highest. And I think it's going to go up, especially the way things are looking with the election. You never know what will happen, but I think if he wins, this is going to go to maybe $100. I think this will go to, what is that, 66? It'll probably go to 66.70. Maybe even whatever that number is there, 97. So that's clearly resistance there. $100, 90 something. But yeah, that's actually a really good play. But it's a little unpredictable because we did have the attempt on his, to unalive him. Was that July 13th, I think, something like that. So I'm not gonna put my eggs in that basket, but that's an interesting play if you're into that. Beyond Meat, could this go lower? Yeah, stocks can always go lower, but I think it's going to be a really good price after the stock market crash. We might see this go down to $3 maybe. And I see only good things for this stock because it's going to react to the negative news. And then it'll probably rally right back up to $6. So let's hypothetically say it goes to 3, pick it up at 3, sell at 6, just because it's already down, so it can't really go further down. So that's an interesting buy. Inovio, can't wait to pick this up at $5. I think it might go to $5 tomorrow if everything works out. So that's a really good buy at 5. Even looking at this was actually up in March of 2020, so you can't really use this as a barometer. Look at that price, 86. No, it's not. If only. So Tupperware, where's this going tomorrow? This might be a really good play tomorrow after the dust settles. I think you're looking at $1. We might be looking at $1. It might drop down to $1 tomorrow, and that would be a really good price to pick that up, and you can expect that to go right back up to 150. So that might be a really good play as well. Broadcom, that's one that has to be dropped. I think probably best to sell it, but selling at a loss is not what I like to do, so I'll probably just hold it until it goes to the price target, which is 195 or 180. I don't want to sell for a loss though, so I'll probably just hold that until until it goes up. Nvidia, people are saying this is going to 100. I think it might just do that. Might even go down to 80. The last year is showing like 80, 90 is very much in the realm of possibility. But Nvidia is a great stock. It's just the market will react. I don't think it's a good pickup though, because at the price of $80 and it's only going up to what, 130. I don't know. It might be a good play. Might be a really good play. It's just a little too pricey for me. But it has got the name. It's one of the biggest stocks in the market, so I'm going to leave that open. Meta. What's the price to buy Meta? Well, let's look at right here, $90. If you can get it at 90, if it's going to drop to 200 tomorrow, let's say hypothetically it drops to 400 tomorrow, that's still not the right time to buy. I would buy this at 100 or below. But realistically, let's say it goes down to 150. That's still a good price. So 150 and below is probably what we're looking at in the event of a black swan event, a stock market collapse, a big crash, the likes that have not been seen since 2008, the 2008 recession under President Obama. So that's Meta. That's a good play. I'm going to leave that open. SunPower doesn't have much of a reputation, but I do like how it dropped to 50 cents. So if it does drop to 50 cents or below, that might be a good buy. And then wait for that to go to $1. I think there's a high likelihood for it to go right back up to $1 because it already dropped dramatically from $2 up, even $3, all the way down to 50 cents. So reacting to the market will drive it further down, giving you a great discount at 50 cents, maybe even lower. So that's a really good deal. I'm going to keep that open too. Kodak is one I've been looking forward to having a price drop. If it only goes down to $3.50, if it only goes down to $3, then I would buy it. This is a great stock, even in the event of a market crash. I think it goes down to $3. QuantumScape, did I cover this already? Yeah, I did. Okay. Tesla is the last one we're going to look at. Can it go down to 150 tomorrow in the next week, months, and years? Yes, it definitely will. That's the support level, 150, 120. So I'd wait for 120 and below in the event of a black swan event. In case of stock market crash. So people are going to be they're going to be panic selling tomorrow. It's going to be a frenzy out there. So just take care of yourself, take care of each other, stay calm, and things will get better. And stay level-headed. So Tesla, yeah, I see this going down to 150, 120. I wouldn't pick this up until it hits 120 and below, and then you could sell that for 250, which is double your money, but that's an expensive ticket to get on board the Tesla train. So that's an expensive ticket for the Tesla train. I would not personally buy that. Maybe at 120 I would pick up a share or 10. So of all the picks to watch for tomorrow in terms of, is this a good price? What stock should I get into in the event of a market crash? Because it is coming. We just don't know how bad it will be tomorrow. But let's take a look once the dust settles. I might do a video as things unfold right in the morning. But that might lead to panic selling on my part. Might lead to a lot of FOMO. Fear of missing out in terms of selling, fear of missing out in terms of buying opportunities. Maybe I buy something that's 10% down, then it goes further, another 10% the following day, keeps dropping and dropping. That you really have to study these charts. That's why we look at the 5-year charts and even the maximum charts. So if we look at this, I don't think it goes below 120 tomorrow. I think it doesn't even go down 150 tomorrow. But if it does, if it hits our support levels, if Tesla hits 150, it's going to go further down to 120. And if it breaks 120, it might go to 110. But you have to wait for these check marks to be, these checkpoints to be crossed. Wait for it to go down to 150 first. I would wait. Don't buy this until it's 150 and then think about it. And then after it goes to 150, keep track of it and see, is it going, set your alerts on your app to notify you if it goes below 150. Is it going to 140? Is it going to 130? Is it going to 120? And so on and so forth. So that's Tesla. I'm going to close that. And we'll look at Kodak one more time. We're just going to review everything once again. So set your price alert for 350 and below. I think that's where it's headed. 350 and below. And yeah, you're almost doubling your money. So actually Tesla's a better play than Kodak. Ironically. SunPower. If this goes down to 50 cents and below and can go right back up to $2, that is what? You're making 400%. That is a really good buy. So I'm going to keep that open. That's how good of a pick that is. Meta. If this goes down to 100, you're making 500%. So that's a great buy. That's up there with SunPower. And it's got the name Meta. It's got Facebook and everything that they own. Nvidia, if this goes down to realistically 80, or below, or 100, actually it's already at 107. So if it goes down to 80, 90, and we really don't know what the limit is in terms of the ceiling. Could be 200, could be 300. This is a long-term stock. In the next 5 years, I could see it going up to 500. But it's all about patience and faith in what they're doing. Do you believe NVIDIA have the best chips? Are they in the right market? Do they have the right partners in terms of, video game consoles and so on and so forth, and Google and what have you? They are the visionaries of, in terms of the chips, and they are spearheading. They're the leaders of AI. As far as I'm concerned, without NVIDIA, AI would not be where it is and where it's going. So, again, I would not pick this up until it hits, maybe it might hit 50. Who knows? I wouldn't put it past NVIDIA to get to 70. I think it probably goes below 90. But I would wait for 80 and below. I think that's within the realm of possibility for NVIDIA. And it's going to recover very easily in the next 6 months to 12 months. I don't think NVIDIA is going to stay down for too long when it does go down, because it will go down tomorrow. Question is, how much will it go down? And I think the answer is probably looking like $80, $90, something like that. But I think this will drop to below 100 tomorrow. We will see. We will see what happens with that. This is a gamble, but everything is. This is a tough one to call in terms of entry point. I'm going to go with my first instinct. I'm going to say, you know what? Probably is this number right here. I think it is 80 and below. I think you're looking at maybe even 70 and below. I would wait. It hasn't really, I don't think it's been tested too much, to be honest. NVIDIA has not really been tested. It's only seen higher highs and higher lows. Yeah, it did go up to 32, but look, it went to 12, 11. Yeah, it did go up to 45, but then it went down to 40, and then it exploded to 94. But it only corrected as far as 76, and I think there's still a lot more room for it to drop to 60, 50, maybe even 40. Again, market crash is something that you can't predict in terms of, I'm predicting right now, but I'm predicting the worst case scenario. So I'm expecting 60. I'm expecting 70 for NVIDIA. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. So I would wait for this to go 70 and below, maybe even 50 and below. And then you can count on that going up in a great way. If you pick it up at 50, you're going to make quadruple your money when it goes eventually to 200 over the next 5 years or so. So that's a great buy. I think NVIDIA's got the name too, just like Meta does. And Tupperware, this one is an interesting play because we haven't really seen it go too far below $1, in all honesty. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm only buying Tupperware, the stock that is, if it drops to below $1. Like, let's say it goes to 50 cents. Here it is, 64. I'd pick that up at 64 cents very easily. And then look, it goes right up to, when was that at 64 cents? July. Okay. So July of 2023. For some reason, it's not showing me July. 117. So I think it's worth waiting for this to drop to 70 cents and below. And then you can expect this to go right back up to somewhere around the realm of $2. So if you're picking this up at 60 cents and below, let's say 50 cents, Tupperware at 50 cents, selling it at $2. Can't really go wrong. Look, it was at $2 not too long ago in May, just a couple months ago. July, oh, it's August now. So August to July, July to June, and then June. It's been 3 months. It's only been 3 months that it was up at $2. So I fully expect this to go right back up to $1.50, $2. But again, ladies and gents, wait till 60 cents and below for Tupperware. I was going to say Rubbermaid. Tupperware. So that's a great buy as well. Beyond Meat is already at a low. I don't see it going any lower, but who knows? Maybe it will go to $3, and that will be a great pickup, because I see this going right back up to at least $7, at least $7. So you'll be doubling your money with that play. But because of the way the plant-based meat industry is going, I'm going to close this tab because it is a gamble. I mean, that is a good price, $5.60. If it reacts and there's a market crash and goes to $3, heck, pick it up at $2, right? And then maybe it does recover all the way up to $6. So that could be a good play. It depends how far it falls. Okay, 2 more tabs. QuantumScape, just reviewing these once again. QuantumScape is already at support, so how much lower can it get? $4? Can it go to 4? If it goes to 4, I think you will make a killing if and when it goes up to double digits. Because I think it's due for a breakout once the really good news comes out and it breaks out to $20, maybe even 40. So yeah, I would pick this up too if it drops to $3, $4, and that's a really good pickup. QuantumScape is a great stock at $3, $4 level, even lower than that. But I think you're looking at $5 and below. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And then the last one, again, MicroStrategy. Let's look at this one more time. Support is looking like 500 and below. So I would not pull the trigger on this until it hits 500. I mean, wait for it to hit 1,000 first, right? Wait for that, the $1,000 price point, because look, it was right here, 1065. It couldn't break that. But if the worst case scenario plays out and it goes down to 500, I think that's a no-brainer at 500. It's a no-brainer at 500 and below. So that's the time where you buy, but it's all dependent on the price of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin drops to 40k Canadian per Bitcoin, I don't know what that is in American. I think we should investigate that, but again, 500 and below. So say hypothetically it goes down to 200, which is a crazy price, 160, 150, 200, and you're picking that up at that price. You'd sell it at 2,000 plus. That is a massive killing. I would maybe wait for that. I don't know if that's in the cards though. I think realistically it goes to 500 and below. Probably does not break 200. I don't think it breaks 150. I think the stock is too strong to break 150. The 140 support especially. I think the lowest that this goes is 500. This is way too strong. It's got a lot of investors. Yeah, 500 looks like it. So let's look at Bitcoin in terms of US. Let's look at the US because I usually look at the Canadian. It makes more sense to me. Okay, so Bitcoin at the highest was 73,000. See, for me it doesn't make sense, 73,000. So I need to look at the chart in order to make sense out of this. Will it go down to 16,000 US dollars? I think it is going down to 25 to 30 at least. And when that happens, that's when you buy at 30k US dollars and below. 16, is that in the cards? I think that's possible. We saw it go from 65 all the way down to 16, and then it went all the way up to 70, broke 71. So let's be realistic. Let's say it goes down to 20 at the lowest, and at the highest it goes down to 40 US dollars per Bitcoin. Let's say you pick it up at 40 or at 20, and then you sell it at right back up at 70K. Not a bad deal. Okay, so I hope that made sense. We'll see what happens in terms of the markets tomorrow. How the Nikkei drop will affect the rest of the world, specifically the Nasdaq and the TSX. This is an emergency broadcast. If you checked the Instagram account of the former president, let me just show you. Hold on, let me pause it. Okay, I'm still recording. Okay, so I'm at this kind of conspiracy theory kind of website, but they have some insight, some good insight into what's really going on behind the scenes. So it says here they're way ahead of the mainstream media. So let's just read what they have to say about the banking collapse. Japanese markets halted as stocks dropped 6%. So they actually halted trading to prevent a greater drop. That means it's going to drop more. They halted trading to slow the bleeding, to halt the bleeding. Otherwise, you're going to hemorrhage. Halted after plunging into bear market as everything crashes everywhere. On a long enough timeline, the survival rate for everyone drops to 0. Yikes. Okay, so let's take a look at Zero Hedge. They'll be last, and then it says first Japan, next is Korea, or now is Korea. Korean stock exchange now crashing. Trading was also suspended. The market has entered territory of extreme fear amidst a slump in U.S. big tech stocks. So Nvidia and Broadcom are going down, it seems. Worries about a slowing U.S. economy and sharp declines. Yeah. Well, what do you expect? What do you expect with the leadership they have? Sharp declines in Asian markets. So they have been denying. They've been in denial for so long, and now they're just waking up to reality after the last 4 years. So that is what's happening. It's a rude awakening. South Korean shares fell for a second straight session on Monday, with trading curbs activated for the first time in 4 years. What was 4 years ago? March 2020. The pandemic, as risk appetite dampened across global financial markets. So it looks like the best play is Bitcoin. Bitcoin and physical gold. But yeah, I would probably go towards Bitcoin. Bitcoin has appreciated in value way more percentage-wise compared to gold. Gold has only gone up incrementally, not exponentially. Okay, so that's all for that tab. So we're going to look at this one. Zero Hedge. Japanic Monday. Oh, they kept it behind a paywall. Alright, well that's not really nice. Let me see if there's no paywall here. And just look for a no paywall link. Okay, so I couldn't get a non-paywall link, but let's look at Nintendo in the last 24 hours. It only went down 0.08%, so you would think that's not too bad compared to the rest of the market down, 10, 12%. The last 5 days, it only went down 0.08%. Oh, no, actually, that's wrong. It was at $14 in the last month, last 6 months. It's been to $11.76. So this is one of the most stable stocks on the planet. It's barely even moved as a result of the Japanese stock market dip or crash, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't pick up Nintendo until it goes down to this level here. I'm waiting for $4, but at the very least, 7. Because this is such a long hold, I would wait for 5, maybe even 4. Personally, I want to wait till it goes down to at least, not 7. I mean, 7 is still not because look at this big canyon. You see there's a big canyon right here where I'm scrolling right there. That big canyon is very much in the realm of possibility. So why not wait for that canyon? Why not wait for $4? Just wait for $4. Wait for the $3 point. Wait for $3, $4, at the most $5, and then you flip it once it reaches 16. So ideally you pick it up at 3 when it goes right back up to 15, 16, which it tends to do pretty faithfully. You're at least tripling your money. But the caveat is it takes so long. You're going to hold this for at least 5 years, maybe 10 years. So that's why I recommend it, but I don't if you want to, you use the money and have access to your stock money. So that's all for this video. Let's stay tuned as to what happens tomorrow after the trading session. How will the markets react to the bad news from Japan and Korea. Thanks again, ladies and gents. We'll catch you tomorrow after the market close.